Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Gamer Life here on uploade 7. I am your host this week. My name's Joshua Barber and I run two YouTube channels, not just one. One of them is centered around heavy metal. You can find that here. Most of what I do is post heavy metal demos, so if you like metal, that's where you go to get all kinds of cool demos. I also post video reviews that I shoot and write and edit myself. On my other channel, most of what I do is Let's Plays, and I do video reviews of every single game I Let's Play. There's a number of other things that I've done on that channel, but that's the vast majority of what I've been doing lately. It's also where you'll find any videos where I've participated in past Gamer Life episodes. This week we're here to talk about genres of video games, and how genres evolve over time. And to be more specific, are there any genres of video games that you are dissatisfied with how they've evolved over time? If you've been playing video games for as long as I have, you'll notice that your favorite genres of video games will change and evolve over time. New features will be added, old features will be dropped, so on and so forth, and it will go from one form to another form to another form as it evolves. Sometimes they can evolve in ways that you or I may not personally approve of. They can change in ways that we feel is detrimental to the genre as a whole. And that's what we're here to discuss today. Are there any genres that you feel have done exactly this? Are there any genres that you feel have degraded over time instead of getting better? And I'll give you an example with my personal genre, and that's first-person shooters. I've been playing first-person shooters since Doom came out in the early 90s. And I grew up on games like Doom, and Quake, and Wolfenstein, and Duke Nukem, and Corridor 7, and a wide variety of other things similar to these. I love the genre, I always have, I always will, but ever since Call of Duty 4 came out, every single game tried to be like Call of Duty 4. And the thing about that particular game is it dropped a whole lot of what I loved about the genre in the first place. Let me get into a few examples. I'll show you guys how I like the genre to be and how they tend to be nowadays. What we're looking at here is the original Doom running on the Doomsday engine. When Doom was released in 1993 and for several years after, it was the standard by which all first-person shooters were judged. This was the gold standard back into the early to mid-90s. This game was absolutely phenomenal when it came out, and it blew everybody away. And it still holds up incredibly well today. All you really need to do to make this game fun nowadays is run it in an engine like this. And that says a lot about how well this game was designed in the first place. You'll notice that even though I'm only using the shotgun, I have numbers 2, 3, and 4 highlighted down in the status bar. This is because this represents the various guns that I have currently. And I can carry every gun in the game at one time. This allows you freedom in how you choose to dispatch your enemies. And each weapon acts differently than all of the other ones. You'll get a unique experience firing one weapon that you won't get firing the others. And they all have situations in which they're useful. Except for the pistol, that's just there in case you run out of bullets, or until you get a better weapon. Different enemies in Doom act differently, and depending upon what you are fighting and how many of them you are fighting, you will have to change up your tactics. You have to learn enemy movements and attack patterns in order to be good at this game. It takes real skill. Also, Doom has something of an open-ended level design. This level in particular happens to have 2 exits to it, not just one. And the second exit that leads to the bonus level that you don't even need to go to, you can skip that portion of the game entirely. It allows you to explore this world at your leisure, and that's awesome. I love that about this game. Not only does it have exploration to all of the different levels, but it rewards you with things like items, health, ammo, and new weapons. One of the rules that John Romero followed when he was doing level design for this game was that if you can see it, you can get to it. And I think that's a brilliant way of designing levels. If you can see an area, you can get to it. And that's pretty much true throughout all of Doom and Doom 2. If you can see an area in this game, you can get to it. And that's very, very not true of modern shooters. We'll get into that later. Notice also that your health does not recharge in a ultra unrealistic fashion. Admittedly, health packs aren't the most realistic way of regaining health either, but at least picking up a med kit is more realistic than just hiding behind a rock for a few seconds and then watching your health recharge. It makes more sense. Doesn't make perfect sense, but it makes more sense because at least you are in theory bandaging yourself up. Doom did a lot of things extremely well that really resulted in this game being a timeless classic that will always be fun to play. This is the power of good level design, and Doom has that in spades. Enemies are fun to fight, weapons are fun to fire, levels are fun to explore, and there's a lot to do with them. And there's multiple difficulties, so you can play through it for different levels of challenge. Doom was just an amazing, amazing game that did so many things right, and the industry has moved away from a lot of the things that I've talked about here about what makes Doom so great. Speaking of which, let's move on to my example of how modern first-person shooters should not play. What you're looking at here is the Medal of Honor reboot from 2010. This is the first one. This isn't Warfighter. You'll notice when you start playing this that you have 3 weapons that you can carry at a time. A pistol, or a sidearm if you will, and a couple of other weapons. And most of the weapons that you're going to get over the course of this game are various types of real-world machine guns. But the thing about having a real-world machine gun in a video game is that while they might feel incredibly different in real life, they don't so much in video games. They pretty much all work exactly the same. And that's kind of a problem. That's detrimental to how you want your weapons to work, where each one has unique function, each one has different situations in which it's useful. You'll also notice the level design here is significantly more linear than it is in Doom. And you'll notice that every single time I take damage, red pops up on my screen, and then as I don't take damage for a little while after that, the red goes away. This is regenerating health. It makes games a lot easier because once you get on low health, all you have to do is duck behind something and then you'll be good a few seconds later. Now let's get into a few specific areas that really bug me about this. Okay, here I'm going to try to jump up on this truck and the game is not going to let me. Why? Why can't I get up on this truck? Why can't I explore beyond it? There's obviously land beyond it. Well, I'll tell you why. Because the game developers do not want us to go out there and explore that. They want us to stay on the set path they intended us to follow. Here I'm going to try to climb things and jump over this fence, but again, the game won't let me. It actually prohibits exploration. It more than just discourages it, it prohibits it. Here's another thing that drives me nuts. I cannot open this door. In fact, this door won't open at all until they get done talking to each other, and then it will let me through. Then T will open the door, because I can't do it, and we will go through and continue on to the level. This kind of thing just irritates me. Why do I have to stand around and wait for my companions to finish talking to each other before I can move on through the level? But wait, now I can open the door. I go over here and I kick this one down. What's the difference between this one and that one? Why can I open this one and not that one? Here's a nice little section. We kill the lights and then stealthily enter this building and use night vision goggles to take out the enemies one by one. We'll get back to this in a little bit. Here's another area that just prohibits exploration. You have this little wall here that I cannot jump over. I can jump, but I can't jump over it. Why do I even have a jump ability if you're not going to give me any situations in which it's useful? And now we're right back to not being able to open doors. Can I have at least a little bit of consistency here? Here we have one single board blocking this doorway, and it's the only thing preventing me from getting in there. So you'd think I would be able to hack at it, right? And destroy it? Nope, you can't get through this. This little board must be made out of adamantium or something. Now watch this. I'm going to approach this door and attempt to kick through it myself. And the game is not going to let me. Now watch what happens after this though. Because this guy's going to come up and kick it open. Why can he kick it open and I can't? I don't get it. Immediately outside of that door is a chest-high wall that you think I would be able to jump up onto. But nope, the game won't let me. Now the weird thing about this chest-high wall is once you climb around the stairs, you can get up there. I'll show you that. You see this roof over here? You think you would be able to hop over this down onto that. But no, you can't do that because, again, the game actively prohibits you exploring. It won't let you. In fact, there are some games that go as far as to kill your player if you venture too far outside of the battle zone. Here you would think I would be able to jump off this roof to the next one, but no. I hit an invisible wall, fall down, and hurt myself. Remember earlier in this video when I pointed out the stealth section where we turned out the lights and killed them enemies in the dark? Well, let's get back to that, shall we? Here I thought I would do the exact same thing in this tunnel. I thought I would shoot out the light bulbs and, under the cover of darkness, sneak up on enemies and kill them unaware. It doesn't work because you cannot shoot out the light bulbs. Why do you teach me that I can use stealth and then not let me use stealth? Here's another thing about first-person shooter design nowadays that I really don't like. Instead of letting you carry all your weapons at once and letting you choose how you dispatch your enemies, the game will go, oh, by the way, you'll want a sniper rifle for this section, so here's a sniper rifle that just happens to be conveniently placed here. Enjoy. In case you got it in your head that you can only bust through wooden doors, think again. You cannot bust through this particular wooden door. Again, what are the rules of this world? Because they seem rather confusing to the player. You may notice that I'm wearing a different shirt. That's because I'm recording this little bit on a different day. Anyway, I hope I illustrated well enough for you all exactly what it is that I want from you, and I hope that you understand my problems with modern first-person shooter design. By the way, I have a new light setup, so be sure to let me know what you think of that. As always, please leave your responses either down in the comment section below or post a video response to this. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say. Thank you everybody for watching this episode of Gamer Life here on Alloy 7. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. My friend over here at Alloy 7 does good work, and it's well worth your time to subscribe to his channel. In closing, I'm going to leave you with a couple of my own pieces of work from my two different channels. Click either one that you would like to see. I'm very proud of both pieces of work, and I would really appreciate the views. Thank you everybody for watching once again. And until next time, talk to you later everybody.